North Carolina.
North Carolina.
What part?
Greensboro.
Greensboro, okay. Out there in the A&T line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep,
I was going to go out there, but I knew if I went out there, I'm going to turn up. And honestly, respectfully saying this, I probably would have turned into a hoe. So I
Good thing.
I'm just being honest.
We here.
Right. If I know that's going to be my fall, don't even go there. I just could, so many beautiful black ladies at A&T.
And curls, smiles.
Yeah. Right.
Curves. Yeah. But been married, man. Had a wonderful relationship, and there's been a lot of evolution of our relationship as well. So in that whole modern traditional conversation, we certainly started out in the modern, type of mode, if you will, where she was working, I was working.
So break that down, because I think the people watching right now, not everyone really understands, because I didn't know the difference between a modern and traditional relationship until I met you on Clubhouse. So what is y'all's definition of a modern relationship? And then what's the definition of a traditional relationship?
Yeah, so a modern relationship, speaks to our modern day, where you see more people where both spouses are working outside the home.
Okay.
You're looking to divide up domestic duties evenly. You see a lot of it when it's like, hey, we're going to go 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
Right, 50-50. Like that.
50-50.
Maybe that's the term that people are more, familiar with, right?
50-50 relationships.
50-50 relationships. And so, this isn't, we're not the first people to ever say this.
Right.
You probably heard this before, your audience has heard this before, but 50-50 doesn't work. It's 100-100, right?
Come on.
And so, we understand in other areas of life that specialists tend to get better results.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're a doctor and you're just you have a general practice, you don't get the same type of results that a specialist does. If y'all specialize in a specific area, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we could specialize in, when it comes to the things that we need as a family unit, I'm going to specialize in this area and you're going to specialize in that area. And we have, watch this, equal importance but not equal roles.
Ooh.
Equal importance but not equal roles. And we're going to be very, very intentional about, wait a minute, we have different roles. That's still a partnership too. Because that's one of the misnomers, I think, is like, well, I'm more into a partnership. When people say that, like, I'm more into a partnership, the implication is if a traditional relationship isn't a partnership, where we're in more that traditional role where you divide.
So traditional is, let's say for an example, in traditional, are y'all traditional or modern?
Traditional.
Okay, so in the traditional role, you're saying, okay, you pretty much make all the money, but her role is still, her importance, I'm confused.
Her importance.
Her importance is still just as important as you.
Absolutely.
But the role is different.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So in my traditional role, I take care of the house, I take care of the kids, and I assist James with whatever he needs. I was very heavily involved on our daughter's book project.
Okay.
And I was the one making sure it was shipped out, making sure we got all the supplies and all the vendors and whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
But I was helping him and assisting him with, okay, this is what we're doing for the family. This is the business that we're running. This is the route we're going right now.
Okay.
But my main thing was to make sure the house was moving smoothly, make sure homeschool was going well for the kids, make sure clean, whatever it needs to be done. And then if James needs assistance in something else, he'll say, hey, babe, I need some help with this. And that's how we've always run it. Even when we were both working, our vision was for me to come home.
Okay.
It just didn't happen.
From the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Okay.
We got involved in a business opportunity where we saw something that they had that we wanted.
Okay.
And it was, okay, we got an opportunity to come home and both of us can be home raising our kids. And so when we saw that, and it was an opportunity for me not to have to go work for somebody else.
Okay.
And not be away 9-10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And he working for someone else. And James is going off 30 minutes the other direction. And we are weekend spouses. Or night spouses. And I'm giving all the best I have, all my energy, all my life, everything I have to a job that's cutting me a paycheck. And he's doing the same. And whatever we got left over to give, we're going to give to each other. And we knew we didn't want to live our life like that.
Okay.
And it didn't happen as quickly as we wanted. We actually had a child before I got to come home. She was almost 4 years old when I came home.
Okay.
And James was working on getting me home. And so I worked outside of the house.
Okay.
And he worked at home. And he kept our child because we didn't put her in daycare.
Wow.
And so he would have her sitting on his lap.
Working.
He would bring her fortunately, I only worked 10 minutes away. He would bring her up to the job so she could nurse because she wouldn't take a bottle.
Every day?
Every day, twice a day.
I couldn't get up there fast enough. I couldn't get up there fast enough, man. I'm telling you, because she was a little colicky as well.
Yeah.
So she had a 15-minute break. She would come home for an hour lunch, and then she had a 15-minute break in the evening. So 15-minute break, I'm there, 15 minutes. Whew, you know.
So he can breathe because she's running the whole time.
Mom wants to be with her baby too.
She wants a nurse. So
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we've normalized a lot of things that aren't natural. I don't know how natural it is for a woman to have a baby in 6 weeks of maternity leave or whatever the case is, and then you're back at work away from your baby, right? So, that...
It's not. I was add to that because the women I work with, that they did it. We all sitting together, crying together because we don't want to be there. We want to be with our children. And again, like you said, it's normalized. And so we get comfortable with the discomfort of that heart-drenching pull that you have away from your child. And then as they get older, it gets easier. It just gets easier and easier. And that's how it gets easier to send them off to school where they're away from you now for 7-8 hours a day. And so we knew we got to get home. I don't want this. I want to homeschool. I want the kids with me. I want to instill in them the values that we see fit. And so to the point where it was some classes this year that my daughter was taking online. She's 7th grade now. And we pulled her immediately. I looked at, it was our language arts class. And I was like, no, this is not going to cut it. I said, give me a list of all the books. I was like, we pulled her and we put her in a completely, totally different online class because she's taking online classes. All of our kids aren't, but she is. She's 7th grade. And we were like, no, this is not going to fly. This is way too graphic. It's got gory stuff in it. She's getting grossed out. I was like, no, we're not going to do that. And it was nice to have that option of saying, hey, you're not in public school. You don't have to learn what they learn. This is a private school online, but you still don't have to learn what they learn because we can just pull you from the school. I can find something else, or I'll do it myself, or I'll have our nanny do it. But it was nice to have that option, and I don't believe that it's important enough to other families to have that option because when you put your kids in school, they're going to learn whatever it is that they say you have to learn.
Right.
So.
Wow. What was your reason to why you want to bring your wife home?
Exactly what she's talking about. So homeschool is important to us because we just see a lot of the things that's happening in society. And if you talk about Clubhouse, that's what we connected, right? Right? Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Clubhouse, pick your social media platform. Most people are complaining about things that are going on in the world. We're complaining about how society is. We don't like this, we don't like that.
That's true.
Well, most of the things that we see as ills or some of the bad habits you picked up or some of the things that you did that got you off of the right direction, where'd you pick it up from? School. Right. Like we spend most of our time in that environment, when we're children. Because that is conditioning us to go on to be an employee, for one, right? You look at the growth of the public school system and the growth of the industrial revolution, it kind of parallels there because you need people just smart enough to be, able to do a task for 8 hours a day. Right. Smart enough to do the task, but not so smart that they can, give us pushback. So we didn't want to put our children into that type of environment, right? You talk about the school to prison pipeline, but we want to put our kids in school, right? So that was very important to us. And then outside of that, let's keep it real. This is what I don't understand with a lot of women is they're fighting to want to work outside of the home. When keep it real, bro, I don't want to work outside the home. I didn't want to go to work either, right? So I wanted to bring my wife home, but I also was like, I don't want to have a job either. Right. So we just have a very high value and a premium on freedom, on flexibility, right? On just being able to just be able to go, to be able to hop on a flight down here because we got the invitation to come, kick it with you. Right? To be able to take our family. Last year we went to Europe for 2 weeks. Well, the whole fam took her mom, as well. And so my daughter, right, my eldest daughter, who's a published author at 12 years old, she runs track. She was able to go to the Barcelona Olympic Stadium and see what Gail Devers ran. She was able to actually run on the same track of Usain Bolt ran on in the London Olympics in 2012, right? I'm able to give her the experiences. This was in the middle of March, right? During the school year, right? What type of I can't do that. Can't do that. If she has a job, I got a job, we got to figure this out. Yeah, some different people can figure it out over the summer or whatever. We just didn't want to have to ask people for time off.
Wow, that's what I was about to say. It sounds like the traditional role gives you the freedom to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. Are you saying that the modern role, what is your downfall with the modern relationship?
So at the end of the day, I obviously give space for people to do what they feel like is right for them.
Right.
What we advocate for and speak about on the traditional role so much is because I think it's just so much misnomer around this idea that traditional men are oppressing their wives and they're barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen all day. It's like, my wife is not fighting.
No, listen, I agree.
She's not fighting to want to say, no, send me to work and things of that nature. We absolutely, love that freedom that comes along with it. And the downside on the modern that I see is, one, it doesn't have that freedom. And then two, going back to like being a specialist, right? So think of any organization,
right?
Be it a business, be it the government, be it the military, be it a sports team, where you just try to divide all of the responsibilities evenly. Think of a starting five in basketball. Think about how almost impossible it would be if we say, hey, this is what we're going to do. All of us go to average the same amount of points, same amount of rebounds, same amount of assists. Like everybody's going to average, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Michael Jordan going to drop 40 on your head. So when Dennis Rodman come in, you know your role. Rodman, we don't need you to score.
Right.
Jordan gonna drop 40 on your head. We need you to get 15 boards. Because we got the most lethal scorer in the game.
Right.
And so if you get 15 boards, that's 15 more opportunities for him to do what he does. And so when Rodman can specialize in, I got a laser focus on, I am going to handle rebounding. And Jordan's gonna drop 40 on your head, right? Now, equal importance, not equal roles, right? So I'm gonna go. I got the. I don't need you. I need your support in different areas, man. I need you. Hey, can you handle this? Can you, do that, or whatever the case may be? But I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna put up the points, right? I need you. I need somebody on the team to be able to get some of the assists, some of the rebounds, right? The amount of bandwidth that is lifted off my plate because I don't have to deal with the domestic, elements. You can't put a price tag on it.
We tried. Remember?
Oh, listen, we did.
How did y'all try it?
You try to calculate, because so you would hear men saying things like, well, I could pay somebody to clean up. I could pay somebody to cook. I could pay. No, you can't.
You can't.
No, you can't. But not the guys that's talking about it. Like, because real talk. Because by the way. My wife does handle domestic duties, right? That's her role, that's her space. But we do have housekeepers. We do have, a full-time nanny as well, because we have 4 kids. That's a lot on my wife, right? So I'm giving her assistance in that area as well. But men understand this type of stuff. You ain't even really looked at housekeeping. You ain't really looked at it. Hey, come on. Like, I didn't even know this till we got housekeeping. Like, you got to clean up for the house cleaner to come. Like, they don't
listen. I do that now.
I know, but
I clean up before she gets there to clean up.
Right. So even with a house cleaner, you clean up.
Yeah.
Right. We got a house cleaner. I don't clean up for the house cleaner to come. Right. Oh, I can hire somebody. Like, bro, you cannot afford a full-time chef to cook like 3 meals a day for, we eat out sometimes or whatever, 4 or 5 days a week. You can't, you don't.
Can't do it.
You can't, and that's just the cooking and cleaning.
So what about the ladies, Miss Yolanda, who are saying, you know what, I hear y'all, but I actually enjoy working. Can she still be a traditional wife if she enjoys being a nurse, if she enjoys being a school teacher?
I think that goes against that's modern. A woman that works outside of the home is a modern woman. Traditional that's just a definition. That's just a definition. A traditional woman would be in the home. You could have some traditional characteristics, but you couldn't qualify yourself as a traditional wife if you are outside of the home the majority of the day. You're working full time. That's a modern woman. You're earning a paycheck. You're bringing that paycheck back to the home. That's a modern woman.
And that's okay. It's okay. Just realize what that
realize
it's not okay for us. Like my situation, I feel that. But for somebody else that desires that, it's okay. And so our biggest thing is, like, it's okay that you make whatever choice you make. What I want you to do, though, is just understand that choice and implications that come along with it.